Hi, this is Beth Goldstein. I hope you enjoyed your first week. We focused this week on the importance of really securing first-hand market data about your customers, also known as primary research. As part of this week's work, we looked at techniques for getting customer feedback that's going to basically boost your odds of turning your idea into a success. So, how do we begin? We defined primary market research. Then we looked at appropriate customer discovery tools to figure out what do your customers really need? What are the market needs? What are the problems? And therefore, what are the opportunities for you? And we looked at examples of successful research techniques. And wrapping up the week, we explored some of the tools required to gather and then apply that research to your marketing campaign. So I want to cover a couple of important tips for you to consider when creating your survey, which is your marketing research tool. Remember, demographics go at the end. You don't want to bombard them with that information up front. You want to capture the content of the survey. Think about the goal of the question and how you'll use it. Keep that in mind when you're looking at what are the behaviors and demographics you want to capture. For example, if you want to understand if women aged 35 to 50 are more inclined to buy your product or have a greater interest, make sure you ask questions that will get to that. Keep it simple and make sure your questions are really easy to answer. One question per question, which may sound silly, but sometimes we embed multiple questions in one question. And check boxes always help to keep it simple. So examples I've seen from surveys submitted in other sections of the course have given us some good insight. I just want to share one or two. So for example, if let's say you were doing a video learning game for teachers, you would want to make sure you ask questions like, what grade or class do you teach? Or what are the age ranges? That way you'll have better information to analyze the actual data. Do second grade teachers prefer this versus 8th grade teachers? Another example would be if you have a restaurant. Maybe you have a restaurant in the Middle East, or maybe you have a restaurant in the US. And I've seen where people have wanted to ask about what income levels they have. How much money do you make to help decide? And while that would be a great piece of information to have, what ends up happening is people won't give you honest data about that. So it's better to stay away from that, but perhaps ask a question like, so how much money do you spend each week going out? That'll give you a better sense of what their earning potential is. Okay? So I hope those are helpful. What I'd like to see you focus on in the next week is the marketing mix, right? You've done your market research, you've gone out, you've really understand who your customers are. Now begin to think about how do we target them and what are the options? And we will talk about that extensively in next week's class. Thank you.